Should women be obedient to their men? I don't think that's exactly accurate, but it's pointing at a truth, and we need to explore it a little bit. Gender roles has become a hot topic these days, and there are people taking really extreme views of it. Some people are turning towards gender being a choice and just something that you can explore according to how you feel it. Others are turning towards absolute equality and there is no difference between gender. And there is a kind of backlash towards traditional gender roles, and there's a good reason for that. Traditional gender roles, traditional roles in general, have a history behind them, and they often work in ways that we don't really understand. There's like having any tradition that is thousands of years old tends to have some wisdom in it. But it can also have some distortions in it as well, and so it's really important to try to find the gold and not so much the lead. So, should women be obedient? I don't think obedience is the correct way of understanding this. Think of it more like ballroom dancing. In ballroom dancing, the man leads and the woman follows. And there's a different vibe that they're using, but the man is not bossing and the woman is not following orders. They're moving together. They're moving together in a way that works for both of them. And so how is this that this actually works, and how can we apply it to life and not just the dance floor? So there's a kind of, when you're first taught it, the general idea is the man leads, and so he says what's going to happen, and the woman just follows what he says, and so she's kind of following the orders, following the instructions. But as you get more into it, it's not so simple as that. There's a communication that's going on both ways, and every movement, every action, there's a choice. There's a choice from both sides. So when the man leads a move, the woman can just follow exactly what he's leading. He steps forward, she steps backwards. But if she doesn't want to step backwards, or she thinks that there might be someone behind her, she can transform that move. He leads forwards, and she, instead of stepping straight backwards, she can turn to the side. And so she transforms that lead into a turn. And so there is a choice. It's not simply you do what you're told. And on the other hand, the men's side, leading is a very subtle art. It's not simply saying this is what we're doing. No, you have to make it easy. Make it easy, make it enjoyable. The point is not to make the woman move around the floor however you want her to move. The point is to make her enjoy herself moving around the floor in a way that she likes. And so you need to do a couple of main things. One is to actually tune into the woman, to tune into her and her style. So if there's one woman who's really energetic and bouncy, then get her doing spins and twirls and jumps. And if there's another woman who's very soft and elegant, then maybe get her doing much slower, simpler but beautiful steps. And then both of those women will love you when you dance with them. And then there's also an element of making it easy. So the man needs to lead in such a way that the woman doesn't need to think about it. It's really obvious, it's really simple, and she can just relax and allow the flow. And this is this means that you lead in particular ways, generally involves moving together, not just pushing somebody. So a man does not push you in the direction he wants to go. He steps with you in that direction, and then you feel like you're moving together and you enjoy it and there's a harmony. And so we have these two roles, but these two roles that come together into a harmony, and there's a communication between them. It's not simply push and follow. There's a complexity, a subtlety, and sure, it comes across as something like leading and following because of our more masculine and feminine natures. If you get two men moving together, generally it ends up being a kind of a game or a competition, and if you get two women moving together, it becomes something much more soft, like a hug. And when you get the two different energies, then you tend to naturally get this kind of polarity. Okay, so let's explore how we can use this polarity well, how we can make this part of our lives in a way that's effective, in a way that works. So we'll continue with the man side for a start. The man is leading. So the beginning of the lead is not a movement. The beginning of the lead is a thought. It's the thought of what I'm going to do next. And it's really important that you think ahead of the move. If you just do a move without having thought about it before, it feels confused and weak and uncertain, and it's really difficult to follow. If I say, I don't know where I'm going, this way, it's a very different feeling to if I go, next thing I'm going to do is step forward, and I'm prepared and I'm stepping forward and I step forward, and I step forward with a certain confidence. The movement is very clear. There's a certain level of communication that might happen through the mind directly, I don't know. But anyway, you have this visualization before you move, and so you have a vision. And when I find that when I'm dealing with this in life, that visualization is very important because it actually gives a lot of information. When you try and visualize and imagine things, not all things are possible in your imagination, and that's often a response to what's actually possible in real life. And so when you can imagine it clearly, you're often imagining something that might actually be possible. So create a clear vision. And with that clear vision, then you take a clear action. So, okay, next step is the action. The action, as far as possible, is quite gentle. We're not trying to push and shove. We're trying to simply move together. And if I'm clear about where we're moving, then that movement together happens very naturally. And so, yes, the man is leading, but he's leading somewhere that the woman finds it easy to go, not somewhere that she is resisting. And if she is resisting, go somewhere else. Like, she doesn't want to step backwards. Okay, so we'll turn around. You have to make her feel like she's a good dancer. Which means that you do things that she finds easy. You do things that she likes. You do things where the flow is easy. And so there's a lot of negotiation that goes on in the man's mind and in his body in order to guide the woman in a way that she feels like she can just relax and follow. And then we get the woman's part. And so if he is leading really well, then it's very easy for her to simply relax and allow that lead. And she just goes where he goes. She's very submissive, but she's doing that because she's enjoying herself, because she feels safe, because she feels looked after. and because she's being led somewhere she wants to go. And the more she is led somewhere she wants to go, the more she keeps wanting to be led somewhere she wants to go. And so she keeps following. And so this is easy if he's a really good lead. If he's not such a good lead, it becomes an art of the woman to encourage him and allow him, but still to look after herself. And so she relaxes and she follows whatever he suggests wherever he goes. But she doesn't follow to the level where this is uncomfortable. If he leads somewhere that she doesn't really want to go, then she needs to transform that into something better. So in the dancing, this happens like I was saying. There might be a lead forward, turns into a sideways move. Another example is a spin. I spin the woman, and normally she would spin, but one of the responses she can do is move that hand across to me and make me spin instead. She says, I don't want to spin, you spin. I can do a jump and she can say, no, I don't want to jump, you jump. Or she can say, I don't want to jump, I'm just going to do a showy, styly thing. The point is here, she doesn't block. She doesn't go, no. What she does is she turns it into something else. And so the man can feel like, even though he did something that wasn't quite right, there's no problem with it. She didn't want to go there, that's fine, she's just going to go somewhere else. She's not fighting with him, she's just transforming his ideas into better ideas. So if he says, let's go to a holiday, we're going to go to France, and we're going to stay in Paris, she could say, no, I don't want to go to France, to Paris. Or she could say, can we go up to the Alps in Switzerland? And it's like she's transforming that from something that was like, yeah, kind of, it's not really what I wanted to do, to something that she does want to do in a way that is gracefully pulling, adjusting, rather than saying yes or no. And so there's this art of saying yes, but also guiding and transforming into something more. So this is not obedience. This is relaxation, this is flow, this is allowing. Maybe this is even surrender, but it is surrender with maintaining a certain level of self-knowledge. You know what you like and you make sure that you get what you like. So then, what other things can happen? We have this flow. It's all very nice. And then you decide, you know, actually this is not working for me. I stop. I freeze. So then we get back to the man's role. The man's role, he needs to be feeling that woman and where she is comfortable and making sure that she is comfortable. And if she freezes, he freezes with her. He's always sensitive to where she is and where she wants to be. So there's a kind of dance that goes on. And so overall, we are talking about something that resembles he is in charge and she is following. Almost like obedience, but it's not quite. It's 95% obedience and 5% just having some fun and doing what you like. There's one teacher of relationships. He said, for men, a whole lot of advice about men, what you have to do is give her a good time. What you have to do is go out there, make sure that she has an amazing time, that it's really fun for her. What she has to do is make sure that it's easy for her to have a fun time, that she enjoys herself, that it's easy for him to give her a good time. That what the man wants is to give her a good time. What the woman wants is to be given a good time. So she actually needs to be a little bit selfish here, a little bit like self-indulgent. Yes, I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to allow him to satisfy me, to make me have a good time. And he needs to be focused on her enjoyment. So although he is taking charge for and in service to her. And she is allowing him to take charge in service to her, which is very different in spirit to the kind of traditional roles where the man is totally in charge and the woman is totally obedient. So let's make this into a dance, shall we?